Hi, I wish you a greater day. Half-Life 2 is known for its masterful level design, I think. Of which to this very day, 20 years later after release, people are still finding new things about the game's levels. By people I mean only me. One of the uprising CD17 maps has go through very amazing canals, leading to an industrial warehouse where you have to ride an elevator up before fighting the level load. All of that whilst fighting zombies and combine soldiers. Seems like an average Half-Life 2 map, doesn't it? No. This map is very weird in every way possible. The way it looks, its layout, its features, its anomalies, its Easter eggs. Luckily, this video is going to cover all of that by nitpicking everything. And to not bore you to death, we have a tree growing in real time somewhere on the screen. But before we start, join my Discord server. I'm active there, and I'm also hosting a competition related to this very map, so come join. First, what are we even talking about? The last level of Anti-Citizen 1 chapter, which itself has a bunch of interesting maps, is D3C1708. And oh, it so happens that this very map is our today's topic. It happens right after disabling one of the combine generators with Alex, and her getting captured due to the bridge that would connect you and Bonnie being collapsed. You go down into a canal and find a convenient underground entrance and a load zone. Entering 08, you drop down to a further part of the canal, get into some kind of underground place, snap a bunch of manhacks, get on top of some pipes because there's a fence blocking your path, get into a crawl space, fight more hacks, go down the dilapidated staircase, physics puzzles, get into another maze-like canal infested with headcrabs, end up at the bottom of a big-ass warehouse, call a lift, shoot some combines, go up on catwalks, and finally reach a set of doors to another map. Now that we got that quick info covered, we can talk about the main bizarreness of this map. Strap on your seatbelts, because this part is about to get real long. The first thing you come across is a physics-operated door. Something not common nor previously seen in Half-Life 2. Sure, there might be some other physics-operated doors, but not as many as in this singular map, which seems to be a trend going up on this map. To save your and my mentality, I shortened this sentence just to snop. Got it? Alright, dropping down this very logical room, you get another physics-operated door, this time blocked off by a beam on the other side. Like the previous door required legs to open, this one needs either the gravity gun, the E-key, or a fucking explosive to open. Barrels. Further down this underground looks very not Half-Life 2-ish. It looks good, don't get me wrong, but it's too good compared to all the blocky and simple Half-Life 2 levels. To simply put it, this map looks like it's from the Garishman workshop. For example, the lighting. As bizarre as this sounds, this map is full of white lights, which is a snop. Every light in this game is either orangish or bluish, not pale white. Another snob thing about this place is these lamps can be ripped with the cables off like the TVs. No other lamp in this game is made like this. Snob City, huh? The vent itself is weird, since in it you actually walk in a crawl space around the vent, which I find kinda ironic, and that's why I call it a crawl space. Another interesting thing about the crawl space is if you break the exit vent prop, two manhacks will burst out of the unarmored window. Funny thing is, you can just grab the prop of the gravity gun and gently drop it, which will not trigger the manhacks at all. Funny. The next part of the atmospheric hallway is a snop like its twin. There's a supply crate underneath the boxes on the physicless shelf, which contains a single SMG nade. Amazing! And more importantly, there's a toilet prop, the same one as seen in Noble Prospect. This really is the most important toilet prop. Last thing. There are 3 dead citizens in the hallway on the left. Yes, civis. Not rebels, not refugees, citizens. Seeing how these manhacks had to kill them seconds before Garden got here, these people should wear more dirty or fitting clothes for the uprising in CD17. It would make more sense for them to have that type of clothing if this map would take place in a root canal chapter. Huh. Also, before these manhacks get to see you, they fly around like flies, mindlessly, just like flies. The dilapidated staircase literally has a piece of railing that falls off when you shot, and a step that also falls off. Overall, this room has a snap and looks like its previous brothers. This accessible by a grenade top floor seems to be of some kind of warehouse. reminds me of the CS Source D nuke, mainly due to the texture on these walls, which are made out of 2 blocks, a very nerdy snob. And most importantly, there's a small ass "no smoking" text written on the wall before the staircase. These combine soldiers that ambush you are called NPC Plinko. The other soldiers that ambush you literally can be easily skipped by not touching the small trigger. Like, did you even know you came across them? I surely did it in my first playthrough. Even more importantly than the no smoking sign is this big ass drop with no end. Something all of us see on a daily basis. This isn't actually a snob. The Citadel chapters in episode 2 caves have similar places. The room on the right of the next physics operated door has a window frame with very weird clipping. You seem to crouch into it even though you're not crouch jumping. That might be due to the 3 different brushes and clips that are inside of it. This room has nothing except this dead citizen male 1 with a whole ass armory on him and a poison headcrab that protects it all. Also, the room is behind a static sentient door. Get it? Speaking of the absolute abundance of items in this level, is, well, just as trendy as the snoppiness in this map. Something you'll see more entering back into the canals. Oh, which, speaking of, has this very weird combine soldier blasting at the zombies in the canal whilst going up on the staircase, and then blasting at you. All of that without even aiming. Stupid! The outer wall of the snobby place has a big 3 written on it, and in the corner of the canal entrance room, there's this very long opening in the corner of the ceiling. Megalophobia MFs are gonna shit themselves. Just before the drop down to the big canal, we see a dead male 03 with his AR2, supplies, and citizen clothes. Rest in peace, King. When you get close to the railings of the big canal, 2 combine soldiers rappel down to blast at the zombies on the ground. The rightmost soldier is literally programmed to run up the collapsed bridge straight into a barnacle, whilst the other just dies from the zombies. Eventually. Another ultimate funny thing is, the trigger for this cutscene doesn't touch the ceiling, and yeah, it's possible to skip it too. But before we move on, I'll quickly talk about the layout of this place. Half-Life 2 is a very linear game due to its blockiness. It's almost impossible to get lost, maybe except Ravenholm. But this part of the level, oh hell. The right way you're meant to go is go right, then sprint crouch jump this gap on the left, go along the big canal and turn left when you see a bunch of concrete. From there, I doubt you need any guidance on where to go. Unless you want to get absolutely stocked up with everything possible. Like previously mentioned, this place is a maze, so I'll tell you how to reach each Lambda stash. Instead of turning left into the gap in the first place, go down the hallway. This is where you'll find 2 barnacles and another dead male 01. Rest in peace, King. And from a staircase on the right, a soldier will pop out right into another barnacle. Going up the staircase, there's another dead male 01 citizen with the entirety of Fort Knox on him, blocked away by a wooden beam and a poison headcrab guarding it. So when breaking— holy shit! Oh fuck. A bunch of dead poison headhunters fall down screaming and screeching in pure agony. Rest in peace, Kings. Jumping into the big canal leads you to a fence prop. Also, there's a set of these 2 Defra map looking ass entrances that lead further and have an angry poison zombie on the other side. What's more important is the absolute glory hole on the right path tagged with a lambdas that has so much stuff inside. Why was this building even built like this to have a hole like this? Who put their entire life savings into this hole? Picking the right entrance leads you to these neat pipes, and lo and behold, the only somewhat interesting Easter egg in the whole game. Right beside the various cremator heads and the 2 gunships in the Nova Prospect map that are named after someone's dogs. Or something like that. The Goomba head grab is that head shit that's stuck amidst the 2 pipes, which you can kill by stomping it. It's a Mario reference. Going to the end of the hallway, you're greeted again by a lambda symbol. And all the 4 supply crates! Crazy shit! Returning back is simple. Just go back. After the fence, there's a ladder that will take you to the other side of the gap. I know this is getting old, but like previously said, no other Half-Life 2 map has this bizarre layout that just wanders off. Really. Finally, the last bizarre thing in the canal is the small hole in the big canal. It serves no purpose at all. Kinda dope though. Moving on to the warehouse, which in the case you got each statue have enough guns and ammo to take down a small country. We first start off with the bottom area. There are 2 supply crates and a poison headcrab guarding it all. Again! Come to think about it, it's a trend going up on this map too. Oh, and there's this box. It has a very badly aligned texture and that's all about it. Moving into the co-op's hallway. Hold on. Oh shit! Oh shit, I'm sorry. For whatever reason, moving this barrel spawns a headcrab in its place. Or a headcrab is hidden inside the barrel's place. That's how a hammer says it is. Either way, it's a jump scare of a headcrab. And oh lord, we see yet another fucking dead May-01, again with the whole Fort Zancudo thrown about. Rest in peace, King! Going through this place of semi-no return triggers a thing called soldiers like headcrabs. World peace finally achieved. Oh, and there's a blue 67 written on the block above. Getting onto this catwalk, we spawn a grenade who cinematically take the whole catwalk down using a single grenade. If you're wondering, yes, all these explosions are scripted. Also, the trigger that spawns the soldier can be so easily skipped. These pipe and barrels are very loosely constructed to play out the big explosion. For example, stealing both barrels will fuck up the entire cutscene. But even more bizarrely, if you shoot behind the pipe at an invisible box, then the rightmost barrel will destroy the bridge wherever you take it. Lastly, the left pot can be used like a seesaw. After that, you go for a loose fenced door and must use the main attraction of this map, the physics-operated elevator. Man, Valve really flexed the physics here. Wonder why. Going up, you get to fight the elites for the second time. Previously, they only appeared in unreachable areas, and at the previous level where you're defending Alex. But in here, they rappel down to you.
Still, som hov mi anmani oters remember der först elit enkonter on this map specifically.
How great! Walking on top of this right track will spawn a soldier that will run into the hut to bring the elevator down. Or up. Unsure why, but still pretty dope. Just underneath the roof there's a logo of this whole facility. VICC, I'm guessing. International. When it comes to schizo building design, these guys shouldn't be fucked with. And finally, lastly, fishingly, on the second highest catwalk of the map you can find the only rebel body of this entire map. That being of May-03, which, like his twin, doesn't have the entirety of Hard Knocks on him, unlike their bodies. Here's a graph of all the supplies you can find and models of citizens. There's still lots of other supplies that didn't cover on this map, since we'd stay here for far too long. Also, here's a graph of what supplies each model of citizen packs under dead bodies. For whatever reason, Male-01 seems to always have the GTA 5 inventory on him. At this point they should have gave him an Oppressor Mark II too. Conclusion. It's a very unpolished map, and unique at that. The absolute abundance of supplies, funny scripted sequences, the different lighting, many snobs, obsession with physics, rather than non-linear layout, its better or even weird realistic looks, bizarreness, and overall its subliminality make it a fan favorite for a lot of people. But on the other side of the coin there are people who don't even remember this map. I showed my friends all the things wrong with this map, and they originally thought it's a Gmod map. Mind you, they did play Half-Life 2, except for the elevator part. They remember that one though. That's likely because they probably just skipped every part of the map as fast as they could, only to be then stuck on the elevator part, which is why they remember it. To be fair, their first interaction with Source was CSGO. That says a lot. Can't blame anyone mentioned really. Even yours truly is a big fan of it. Why though? Half-Life 2 tends to have triggers that can be skipped in one way or another. Due to the crystal clear and polish on this map, you can skip like around 90% of all triggers. With a bit of brain, explosions, Impulse 101 and show trigger toggle in the console, you can beat this map without most of the enemies and triggers, even in the modern Source version. And I'ma be honest, speedrunning this map with the least triggers activated is kinda addicting. Launching yourself somewhere with the SMG nade is piece easy and fun. Whilst writing the script, I beat this map way too many times with that strat. And that's why I'm inviting you to the D3C1708 NoTriggers% speedrun competition on my Discord server. Rewards fun. Join our Discord server for more info at the 08 NoTrigger speedrun sub channel, where you can also post your submissions. Here's how you perform the said strat. Starting off, you must go through these two triggers. There's no walk around, sadly. The window manhack ambush can be literally crouch jumped over, but at my roots, I prefer a SMG nade grenade combo launch from the ground to the pipes cause it's faster. Unless you know how to clip with the tire, then yeah. In the crawl space, you're forced to touch another trigger, sadly again. Gently pop the vent out of the way and blast away from this trigger so the flies don't get consciousness. These two next triggers go actually unused, so it's a nah. Sadly, there's no way I know of to skip the trick activating the Plinko soldiers. Jumping straight down, avoid this autosave. Don't look at the poison head grab. Touch this autosave, launch yourself over this trigger, get across the bridge by the most unconventional way possible, and be presented with a choice. Go to the end of the canal to skip the autosave, or take the top tunnel to skip an autosave on the bottom tunnel. Seeing how it's slightly easier with the first way, I'll take it as canon. The collapsed hallway has these soldiers like headcrabs trigger at the end, which we will skip because fuck the world peace. But in order to do that, either jump across this gap and lay the defense, or do a grenade, not so hard, skip the lens on the top of the floor of the warehouse. The explanation for this skip and many other skips are on a nice playlist of XYZ's videos about the warehouse specifically. The playlist can be found in the first link in the description and on the NoTrigger's % sub channel. Just drop him like. Without his strats, this will be a lot more boring. On the boring path, there's a funny barrel on the right wall. Get on it and launch a SMG nade into it while crouch jumping and holding the backwards key. All of that at once. This too is taken from XYZ, if you're wondering. That way you won't touch these pesky elevator triggers. From here there are a lot of routes. My favorite being the rocket barrel jump off the elevator to this catwalk, and doing a little bitty boom to touch this trigger so the exiting doors actually unlock. There's also the small trigger next to the rebel that does the same thing. And finally, get onto the balcony, jump over the autosave, and voila! You've completed the NoTrigger % speedrun, turning a full amount of 23 soldiers to a mild 5, not to mention all of the triggers. If you did record yourself doing it, you can post your run on the 08 NoTrigger % speedrun sub channel on my Discord server. Just keep in mind, the route I showed you might get obsolete with time, so place your brick while you still can. To finish off talking about the unpolishness of the map, the atmospheric hallway is present on the Follow Freeman chapter splash screen. Even though, like previously said, it's the last map of the Anti-Citizen 1 chapter. The main question we should be asking is, why is the map like this? Why is it so weirdly made and outstanding from others? Why is it present on the wrong chapter splash screen? Why are there so many manhacks? Why is that? Why is this? And to answer those questions, we must look into the history of Half-Life 2, or rather the map, the E3s, or the betas. One dog. Before the release of Half-Life 2, there were many E3s showing off cool parts of the game, which unsurprisingly also show our today's topic. First, we have the 2002 Strider E3. It's a cool showcase of the Striders destroying the beautiful European architecture of City 17. Stupid fuckos! What's more important is at the end of this very map you go down into a canal, where you meet Alex. And this very iconic scene place of a combined soldier trying to apprehend both of you gets penetrated by a Hydra! Which is a rather popular enemy from the beta. That was, wow, ultimately cut for being unfun. And after that scene, the map ends. How does this E3 connect to our main patient? The underground area does look a lot similar to the C1708. Catwalks, canals filled with sand and water, and of course a big ass drop, with no end. Having that place in mind, let's move to the 2003 E3s, which there's an abundance of. First we have the E3 Hydra, which is just a Hydra place from the Striders, unchanged as far as I'm concerned, except the soldier doesn't talk and just screams. Then we have E3 on the O2, or as the Combine Overwiki calls it, tunnels, which starts you off in an atmospheric hallway, with the main changes being that the stair entrance is instantly on the right, making the other part of the hallway useless. Soldiers are replaced with metro cops, and the further hallway drops you down back to the Hydra base, which this time has the soldier token. After that, the map ends. Now you see how the Hydra introduction map connects with C1708, but we are not done yet. Fuck. You may ask, why is this map called E3 under O2? What is the under prefix? What chapter is it of? And well, it's of the root canal chapter. Moving up to the freshest beta, the 2003 leak or leaknet, whatever. There are 4 day 1 maps called Under, and all of them are shuffled somewhere between other canal maps, taking place underground. Wow. Late in development, these Under maps have been reused for the root canal chapter maps. Going back, there's also a Temp Canals 02 map, which is a mental illness of its own. I'll add that this map lost its 01 brother somewhere, probably during the polishing. Right, Temp Canals 02 is important, because in it you find the airboat, which fucking sucks, I must tell you. You drive to some kind of warehouse that has closed big ass doors leading to this big ass exit sign, but you'll never guess where it leads. But first you must scale up the warehouse to open the big ass door, and in order to do that, you go into this small ass hallway, which takes you to D1 under 04. Welcome back. Unsure why Valve moved this map from 02 to 04. Shit. The atmospheric hallway isn't that different from the E3 one. The further part is still useless, but there are weird sounds that play when interacting with the exiting doors. Scary shit, it was October after all. The further hallway is on the bottom floor, and going through it, you can see a text thingy. Temp out ahead. Could it be something unfinished? Yeah, I was kinda right. It leads you to the big warehouse. Main difference being, you enter it through the same wall that has the pipe and barrels. Sadly, there are no barrels. There's no elevator, and there are only 2 big ass chargers inside the hut. There's 2 more snot boxes and a few metro cops in the above area, which, yeah, is unreachable cause no elevator. All of this shit is going to waste? Yeah, it's going to waste. You can't read. A map ago we had old beta pieces of shit all over the place, but this? Oh man, what a waste. Since you can't go up, backtracking the way you'd normally go in retail seems to be the main option, right? Well, in retail, that place is a point of no return, unless you boost yourself somehow. And it's all the same here. Kinda unintuitive. But well, it's the beta. The state of the finished program is literally in the name. The barrel rascal is still present here. Unlike everything else, it seems this guy wasn't an afterthought. Now the Mario area, Poison Headcrab Genocide area, top tunnel and entrance that would lead you to the staircase are all sealed off, either just with walls or fence doors. Jumping across the gap, which seems to be easier on this side, leads you to the hole in the ceiling, which has a ladder. Going up loads you back to Temp Canals 02, this time in the warehouse, which will now have the doors magically open, with the cost of the airboat not being there. A piece of shit. Ultimately, loading into the map can crash your game, and that can happen too. Going back, for whatever reason, this opening in the ceiling made its way to the retail, which, from everything we talked about in this video so far, I think is the most bizarre thing yet. Instead of removing these 5 brushes and covering it up, they just removed the LED and all the triggers activating the map load. Crazy fucking shit. Before we conclude everything, I'd like to point out 3 honorable mentions. First, E3 Sewer is a map that's talked about on the Combine Overwiki, but it doesn't exist. I'm guessing it's some kind of nickname for one of the E3 maps I've talked about. Second thing is the Nether 01, a map made in 2002 by Mark Laidlaw, the story writer for both Half-Life games, which, yeah, has a lot of similar things to C1708. And finally, third thing, Intro, which is actually a retail map. It's the earlier rendition of the G-Man intro, has a few differences here and there. Why am I mentioning this? Well, it's a second place bizarre map. It comes with every copy of Half-Life 2 for literally no reason. To finally conclude everything said, it's a map that was shown off too many times as their average level in the game in the E3s, to the point where people would only just play this game to see this bit. Most likely, that is. The problem is with that all the Half-Life 2 maps, layouts, and stuff has changed drastically over those couple of years, and changing the 08 was just seen as unfit. Sure, they could have changed some things here and there, maybe polish some of those areas, but as my channel proves, Valve doesn't tend to do that stuff, which is hilariously easy to do. And that's why it is seen in-game like this today, as a bizarre map. But my main concern is that there aren't as many physics engine flexing things in the early versions of the map. For example, the elevator. Seems like something Valve would flex all the time, but as previously seen, neither it or the doors are present in the leaks or the betas, and that's something you'd flex in an E3. My point being that the finished version of the map we have in retail is actually an unused 2004 E3 map, maybe. Keep in mind this is just my theory, okay? And seeing how Valve works, I think has a lot going into it. Going back, it was first a map taking place in the root column chapter, hence the abundance of the manhacks that are not present in any of the map from the Anti-Citizen 1 chapter and the Fall of Freeman chapter. These planks and citizens are a similar deal. But how about the abundance of the various supplies, this red box and his extinct twins, the C-1708 splash screen on the wrong chapter, and any other bizarre thing about it? Well, that's something we will, I think, never get the answer for, sadly. Unless you know something. Oh, I know something, alright. Just a few hours before the release of this video, the Half-Life 2 anniversary dropped, which gave us full developer commentary. And yes, there is a single commentary note in the immersive hallway, which says that this map was originally a test map for the manhacks, that later spiraled into our beloved bizarre map. Although it's still present outside the root count chapter. Good fucking job. Also, the immersive staircase is present at the 2-minute and 7-second mark in the 20th anniversary documentary, which proves Valve is fucking spying on me. Well, that's the vid, guys.
Like and share this video please. I can't have food. I att cracker every 2 day.
If you're watching this minutes after it released, they're most likely streaming right now, it's the 16th of November, no, not October, November, and it's the Half-Life anniversary, so come join, we'll be hosting a public synergy session. Also, join my Discord server from the competition, it's here too, right? I thank Gooks for being the gardener tonight. I'd like to thank Coco Agent, 404 Not Found, and Tier for supporting me, Hev and Kiz for boosting my Discord server, and finally, I thank you for watching. See you in the next time.